Hello, World Civilization 106 class. Welcome to week 10. Um, and so I'm hoping that all of you now are taking advantage um, of the fact that I am reducing the workload. So I'm seeing that some of you are turning in late work right now. If you don't understand what I'm saying and you didn't watch the last announcement, you need to watch the last announcement. But um, again, uh, it's great seeing many of you taking advantage of having a little bit less work to do in terms of the papers, and also maybe fixing up anything you need to. Some of you on the exams um, kind of thought basically that I was requiring less instead of more when it's actually a take-home exam. You did not have to do multiple choice. So I would expect works cited only using what's in the sources and having dates just as we normally do for the Sunday papers to all be there. And you were supposed to have just a little bit more. It's a 25-point paper. So right now I'm letting you fix that if you need to. So please just take advantage of that and understand. Just do what you normally expected to do. You're just adding more to it. That's it. Okay. And let's see. So just a few things that I'm going to say. Next week you're going to have a lot more videos when we do Christianity, because I'm actually blending Christianity in with some European paganism, and I'm putting them together mainly because I have nowhere else to fit it into. We are limited on time, but I think that they fit well, kind of showing how some of the pagan culture of Europe fits in context to the Christianization of the Western world. And later on, I'm going to cover, Christianity and Islam and Judaism within Africa. So it's not going to be just a limited scope of just the Western world. But what I want you to keep in mind is that okay, so we're covering Rome right now, and the way that I set it up is to really help propel us into going into Christianity and understanding it, because Christianity is a world religion, and in the United States, we often have a very limited view of Christianity. We only see it through the European context. So you kind of think of the Protestant world versus the Catholic world, and then various branches of evangelical or so forth. And I'll talk more about that next week in my announcement. But we don't really think about the Eastern Orthodox world. By the way, the Russian Orthodox Church sees Russia and the Russian Church as an extension of the Roman Empire. They consider themselves to be heirs to Rome. And it's for a whole other topic, but just to say, all of these different histories kind of blend together and do help put into context certain things that are going on now, and lots of all this history kind of blends together. So when we go next week, when we're covering Christianity has obviously been influenced by ancient Israel and Judaism and the Greco-Roman world, and then you're going to see how that all fits into the broader, blending and contrasting with European paganism, and all this other kind of stuff. So anyhow, it'll all come together. We're even going to go over the development of how the Bible comes into being, and more. So I hope that you're all going to enjoy this. So just to say, this week we don't have a paper. We don't have that many videos. It's relatively light work week. Next week, I'm just going to give you the heads up. There's going to be maybe almost double the amount of videos. You're going to have almost the double amount of points. No, you will have the double amount of points. I think I have 40 points for video notes. You will have quite a range of topics that I will have you to specifically cover for your discussions. We will not have a paper next week, but I will have an extra credit paper available. So again, for those of you who are trying to catch up and worried about your grade if you slipped up, right now you have time to work on old papers or anything you need to fix. On top of that, next week, there is an extra credit paper that will be available as an option, not a requirement, and quite a bit of points for the video notes if you are also looking to start, gaining more points and tilt your grade up into a higher level on the percentage wise. The last thing to say, I'll say it again. On the grade book, you're going to see assignments that I never assigned. It's because I've been trying to fix this with Canvas. It's a long story. It's very difficult to fix. The grade book is kind of like a graveyard of old assignments, and I'm for some reason I'm not able to erase them. They're not going to be a problem as long as you don't try to do anything with them. So only focus on the assignments that you were required to do in each week's module. That's all you're required. So if you see any other stuff going on in the grade book, ignore it. Only the ones that have been in the week's module, okay? And so, yeah, that's it. I hope you're having a decent week. There's still, more going on now than ever. Unfortunately, the war is still in a beginning phase. We still don't really know to what extent everything's going to happen, other than the fact that we have a massive refugee crisis coming out of the Ukraine. And I don't know. I mean, I don't need to say much more on this. But again, it's a pretty tragic situation, and there's a lot going on. If this does concern you, I would also like you to explore what Saudi Arabia has been doing to Yemen this whole time, and the fact that the United States supports Saudi Arabia doing this to Yemen, and ask ourselves why. That's just a little side note. I could go on some other foreign policy topics, but I'll leave it there. Anyhow, it's good as we get into these questions of religion and morality. It's good to be consistent in our ethics and our morality, isn't it? All right, that's all I have to say. Have a blessed week. Hope you're dealing with whatever the best you can. Contact me if you need anything.